right. We are back. Episode 22 with Mateen Stewart.
What up, Dub?
Thank you for doing the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Coming from Pasadena.
Yeah.
Traffic's a bitch.
It is.
Always. So, yeah, man. We were just talking before the podcast about homeless population in LA, and Mateen showed us a picture of a mountain lion that he came across.
Yes.
That was pretty large.
It was huge.
And it was at nighttime.
Is that nighttime? Like, right? Because so where I live now, you have to go up a hill and like go up into, I guess it's Kenosha Mesa area.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we get all kinds of wildlife. This is the first time like I've seen a.
Okay, so it was the first
cougar
time
or whatever.
Yeah.
Is it cougar or mountain lion?
I think they're the same thing. I don't know.
The same thing.
Yeah,
I'll agree. If you want to say they're the same thing, I support
it's a wild
you.
animal. Yeah.
a big ass wild animal.
Yes.
It was a bear.
But
Yeah.
we get bears too, bro. Bears too.
you really?
Yeah, bro. California
Really?
black
Wait,
bears.
do you have a dog?
I have two dogs.
What kind of dogs?
I have they're both mutts. So like I have a 14-year-old dog that's like he's gonna die at any moment. And then
Around that mountain line,
then we
for
have
sure.
like we have a 3-year-old dog. She's a mixture of like probably like 12 or 13 dogs.
Well, how many pounds are they? Small or big?
So Cosby is like 30, and then Cleo is
Wait,
like.
did you name Cosby before or after?
He's 14. He's 14. No, I changed his name. He used to be
okay.
something else. No, yeah, it's his
Cliff
name. I'm
Huxtable.
not changing it. He's 14 years old. Okay. But no, and then
That's hilarious, though.
Yeah. It's everyone always gives me shit about that, but no one knew Bill Cosby was horrible 14 years ago. Okay. Well, like 78 people knew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a handful.
We
Exactly.
didn't know. We didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I have Cleo, and we got Cleo because during the pandemic, did we get a pre-pandemic?
Pre-pandemic pooch?
Pre-pandemic. No, maybe. No, we got our post-pandemic. It was during the pandemic.
Okay.
So it was like January of 2021. So like we got her. We got her like March. Because we figured like, oh, our dog needs another dog to help
Liven her up.
to make him up. Like
a buddy.
And he hated her. Like he was like, why the fuck is this dog here? Bro?
Yeah.
But yeah. So she's like 20 pounds. So we have a pretty like a good gate, but sometimes the bears get down there. But whenever they're outside in the backyard, we're there.
Have you seen bear?
Yeah.
You've seen bear too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I've seen bears like come across the porch, and then like during the summertime before we lived in, because we live with my girl's mom right now, and like before the summertime, like during the summertime they would come in the pool and like cool off in the pool. And,
No
like,
way.
It was like a mother.
That's
and her
crazy.
Yeah, like
sons.
those videos you see online of like,
You had one of those houses? That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
that is nuts, man.
And then coyote.
Interesting enough, do you think you see more like wildlife in LA than you did in Detroit?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
There's no wildlife. Wildlife in Detroit. Like we would sometimes, like now in my parents' neighborhood, there'll be like deer.
Yeah.
That'll come because like even the deers are getting run out of their neighborhoods in Michigan.
Even the deer get run out of their neighborhoods.
They're just being gentrified out of their neighborhoods. Like you'll see a deer, but no, other than that, you wouldn't see like, I mean, maybe raccoon or possum, but nothing crazy.
We can't afford to live here. The fucking corn is too goddamn expensive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, we kind of had the same shit. Like there's a lot of like deer, raccoons. Like I didn't really see any like bear in like where we lived in southeastern Wisconsin, but like upstate, there was like the big shit.
That's
like,
pretty much Canada.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Midwest guy, so
I'm from Michigan. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what's up with like the
Where you
winters
from?
in this
Wisconsin.
Oh, you guys from Wisconsin?
Yeah,
A
we
little
went to
backstory. Eric and I have known each other for like 25 years.
Okay.
Went to high school together.
Oh, high school.
Yeah, we've worked every job together for like the last 2 decades.
Okay, so you moved out here at the same time and shit too?
Yeah, so he was out here for like 2 years with his family, with his brothers and sisters, and then they all ended up moving back, and then he and I were working as commercial painters, and we're painting, some fucking factory or whatever, and it's like, 20 degrees, and he's like, dude, I'm getting the fuck out of here in 6 months. I need a roommate. You want to roll? And I'm like, I don't want to stay here doing this shit. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So
commercial painters are like, what's the difference between like
if you paint like fucking Ralph's, like the ceiling and all that kind of shit, like
outside
of
so like
buildings.
I'll build like
anything.
Yeah, you see the
really.
dudes like the lifts, like wearing
so
all
businesses,
white.
homes.
We did homes too for like contractors, like for favors for our boss and stuff.
Okay.
But,
Painted schools,
then,
like shit like that.
and he and I like started a couple like knucklehead Craigslist jobs like ENT painters. Phone us to paint your home or some shit. Like stupid thing like that. So
you still got the skill?
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
You're a carpenter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Tony can paint some shit, build some shit. He's a real
never had that gene, bro.
Oh yeah, well, dude, it's like my dad did that shit. My brother doesn't have it at all. My brother's like he's a holder. Yeah, Eric's a holder too. He just holds shit.
I'm like a in between a holder and like I know how to paint too. Like that's like one trade that I picked up.
You're
but as far as
side,
as far as carpentry, like Tony helped me build out like my like a camper in the truck that I have, and like man, it looks amazing. I could not have done like any of the shit that he did. It's so like crazy.
Can you like paint like?
Like an art?
Stuff?
No. That's where it stops. Yeah. So I can come up with ideas and build dressers, all this kind of furniture and shit in my head and do all the measurements and whatnot.
Okay.
You can just kind of like think it out. When it comes to trying to do some artistic portrait on canvas, fuck no, dude.
No,
I'm like,
that's so fucking unique. Like,
even like drawing and shit, they're just like my penmanship's terrible.
Okay.
Not,
my penmanship is terrible too.
You draw?
Or no, I was never good at drawing. I never had that like.
That artistic side?
That kind of artistic side.
Can you do like ceramics and shit?
No, I never really.
Just going down the line of like
I can't
ceramics.
do shit. Like we went
to metalwork,
we went to Color Me Mine and like I painted my shit and was with the mold that they had, whatever. I made a shark, but no, man, I've blown glass before.
Yeah.
Because one of the camps I worked at, they had glass blowing, but never been like. But the thing about art is like you can really do whatever. But like I've never been like.
I get to my head and I'm like, that looks too fucking symmetric. It's just like I ruin the whole fun of just like naturally sketching something out and shit, and it becomes like too systematic. Then I just
because you're like a fucking straight line kind of guy. Yeah, man. I never had that artistic skill or building. Like I can't build something, and I mean, I guess I had a little bit of it because for stagecraft because we had to do that shit for being a theater major, but like I couldn't look at this table and build it.
Dude, I built my kid an awesome ass bed when he turned to a toddler. Went from his crib to a toddler bed. And then like, I kind of looked around what I wanted him to make and shit. And then like, I was like, no, do this. And then like most of them had like, I think it was like a 14-inch opening, right? Mm-hmm. But like my kid rolls around a lot when he sleeps. I'm like, he's gonna fall out of that. And like, I was just, sure enough, like the first night, half of his body's kind of hanging out. I'm like, no. So I put like a little pocket sliding door on it. So like a little, 007.
How old was he when we went from
2?
He was 2. Okay.
Yeah. So he was like he had a pretty decent size like crib thing, but he would climb out of it and stuff.
Okay.
He might have been like probably about 2.
So we were pack and play for a long time.
Yeah.
We had a crib and then we went pack and play.
What's pack and play?
It's just like a portable crib.
Oh. Yeah.
But like when we moved, she had her own crib and she would start to get out of that.
Yeah.
And then she would do this thing where she would like jump on the chair by it and like free dive into the crib.
It's hilarious.
So now she's in a bed. She's in an adult bed, and she loves it.
Yeah.
And now we got to a point where I don't know if you had this with your son, where like he would get up and try to get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now we like trained her. We're like she'll just wait there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I mean it seems wrong when I'm talking about it. We put a lock.
That's hilarious.
on the door on the outside, so she couldn't come out.
Yeah,
I mean, because it's a hazard for her to, wake up and like, at least in the room, everything's baby proof
for sure.
But she got to a point where she was like cool with it.
Yeah,
and now she just sits in the bed and waits for us to come in. And I see the other side of that where like my friend's kid, like I went to go like spend the night at his house and he and his wife, and my friend, she goes, hey, yeah. When you hear that knocking at 6:30, don't be alarmed. It's just our son trying to break out of his room.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, at 6:30, boom, 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 boom.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Does your son sleep a lot?
He's pretty good at sleeping now. He used to like wake up in the middle of the night and just my fucking lip bleeding.
There you go.
I cut myself shaving. I have to address this. I was just like a crackhead touch my fucking nose and shit. Yeah, he like, he used to do the thing when he'd crawl out of his crib and like we put him in bed and like half an hour later, all of a sudden the door opens and you come out of the room and you're like, okay. But like we were always there when that would happen.
Okay.
But then like he just like kind of the switch flicked and he just sleeps through the night. And then now it's kind of tough waking him up.
What's
like,
bedtime?
I don't know. It depends. It's like usually 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Ooh.
Yeah, dude, he's never gone to bed early.
That's late.
And it's funny because I kind of feel like my friends that have girls, they go to sleep like 7:30. Like,
yeah, we were doing, so 8 was the cutoff, but then like we started like, we were like, oh yeah, get ready for bed at 8. But now we get ready for bed at 7:15.
Yeah.
For her to be to bed at 8.
Yeah.
And now at this point, we can just literally before it was like she was like trying to do whatever she can to get us to stay. Like read 1 million books, the same book over and over 1 million times.
My son does like, Dad, I'm hungry. I'm like, you just ate, dude. You ate so much food. Like you cannot possibly fit more food there.
Is he still doing milk before bed?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah,
because he's 4.
Yeah, he's 4.
Okay, all right. So we still do milk before bed, and then it's milk, brush your teeth, baba. Because my daughter's 2, so she still gets her baba. But now it's like. And it's always as a dad, the most toughest thing is to walk away from your kid when they're calling your name, bro. Like
for sure.
Like even though you got to get out of there, you feel like you're letting your kid down. Like they're crying, it's like, Daddy, and like, oh fuck, I gotta go back. I don't want her to be a stripper, I gotta fucking show her. We love, So man, that was always difficult for me to leave.
For sure.
To leave the house every day, bro. Like it's fucking weird.
Dude, when like the pandemic happened, so our son was like 6 months old, right? So you had that weird year and a half. And I remember like one of the first times I went to go do a show. I left and I felt like I was getting deployed for the service and shit. I was like, oh, right, you letters and shit. I was like, I'm going to be gone for like 4 hours max, right? This would be like a 4-hour round trip and shit. And it was just like, there's so many things I wanted to teach you, son. Just like, dude, relax. Like, you're going to compete.
Do you guys think there's like big differences from like how you're raising your kids compared to like how you were raised? Like you were talking about bedtimes. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, man, I wonder what the fuck time I was going. Like my parents made me go to bed. I'm like, I really know concepts of time. I just knew it was like bedtime. I didn't know if it was 5 o'clock,
that's a good
8
point,
o'clock, 10 o'clock. Like, so like kind of like now being the adult in the room.
But I know
like,
I stayed up late though because all the creepy shit came on late, like 2020.
That's true,
but on Fridays.
Yeah.
So like I just,
also true.
I know all the stations. I allow everything on Friday because it was TGIF.
Yeah, TGIF. I was gonna say that was like
came on at 10 o'clock, but
thank God it's Friday for everybody who doesn't know.
TGIF,
all the fucking young kids out there.
Shout out to Family Matters.
Yeah,
Jalil White, Urkel. But yeah, for me, I don't know. Like I had in high school during the school week, it was like every year I had a phone curfew. So in 9th grade, I had to be on the phone at 9, 10, 12, 11. But yeah, I don't think I had like a quote unquote bedtime.
Yeah.
In high school, as long as I woke up.
Yeah.
But I had to wake. But I always try to sleep because I had to wake up really early because I had to catch the city bus to school. So. Yeah, like 10th grade, 11th grade, I had to be on the bus by 5:45.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy early for a kid.
Yeah.
That's like fucking.
Because it was like the
that's
bus
insane.
that I had to take. Because I was staying with my grandmother, so the bus I had to take, it came at like 5:45 or 6:30. It ran every 45 minutes. But if I took the 6:30 bus, I would be late because it took me, over an hour and a half to get catch different buses.
Were you by yourself or were you with anybody?
I was by myself, man. And I
that's insane.
I didn't even really catch it with anybody that went to my school because my school was on the other side of town. So it was a thing where like I was going on the bus with rival high schools and like all these other people. And once I got downtown, I met up with some people that I knew. But other than that, it was like my school was on the east side of Detroit. I'm from the west side of Detroit. It's just like completely opposite direction. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm like, there's some things that I really enjoyed about my childhood, but also I'm like, I don't know if I like that too much. But with having one kid, you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna have another one. So you're like, I can't fuck this one up.
Yeah,
I know.
And I feel like I'm the strongest of my siblings because I'm the oldest and like
that's what
I'm the most responsible.
Totally.
And, like I don't have any like of the qualms that they've had. And, I felt like I was my mother's favorite.
I feel the same. I'm the middle child.
How many siblings do you have?
So I have, it's me. I'm the oldest. My brother's 7 years younger than me, and then my sister's 11 years younger than me.
Oh wow!
But then my dad had a kid because black like dads in the 80s be having first families, and so my dad had a kid before he met my mother.
Yeah.
And I don't really talk to my sister, my older sister. She was never around.
Yeah.
I mean, in our adult life, we've talked to each other, but she was like never around when I was growing up. So in my core group, it's me, my brother, and my sister.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they probably always. I've always felt like they put the most attention into the first kid of the family.
Well, yeah, because you don't want to fuck it like you. And then as my parents got older, they got more lax.
Yeah,
so I think some of the rules got a little convoluted, and like and like I went to college 4 years, no issues. My brother went to like 5 high schools, then he went to like 5 colleges. My sister went to like 4 high schools and like,
oh my God.
Went to the same college, didn't finish college. And now she's 30. She's finally finishing her stuff. But, she got married young and had kids young and like did all that stuff. So like she's 30 with 3 kids already,
Damn.
and her oldest is 10 and her youngest is 5. So yeah, she's been a mother her whole adult life.
It's crazy though, because I'm sure you can like never thought you learned so much from your little sister, right? As far as like parental things, because being both of us are just like one kid parents and shit. But like just thinking about having another kid, you're like that first like 6 months, you're like holy shit, like waking up in the middle of the night, like is this ever gonna end? And all of a sudden you realize that after the first year that shit's done.
That's done.
Yeah, you're basically on like it's not the easiest thing, but like. Now I'm like facing this shit where like I'm putting my kid in like school and like have you guys done daycare yet?
We're doing daycare right now. She's in daycare right now. And
how'd she like it at first?
I mean, it was kind of traumatic.
Yeah.
For Erica, because like she was like, oh, I believe in my baby, and like I've been spending so much time with her, and then like every day she would just cry, bro. And that's that feeling where like she's gonna get over it, but it's just like you feel like you're abandoning your kid, even though you know you're gonna be there at the end of the day. But like, I mean, they're pretty good as far as like keeping up with like what's going on throughout the day, and like I tell people, if I could afford a nanny, I still think I would still send my kid to daycare because you can't replace that like social
exactly.
growth.
You don't want your kid to be like awkward and shit.
Yeah,
like,
that they get and like social interaction and like being that like that wolf pack mentality, like someone's gonna be the alpha. You learn your role in this whole dichotomy of life, and it's good to have that. And she learns a lot. She learns a lot socially and like intellectually. Just like she's coming up with stuff and like, oh, where'd you get that from?
For sure. That's the thing too, is like some of the thing, like some of the proud moments as a parent, I'm like, I don't know if I can take credit for that because I think I'm going to learn it at daycare. Like, just like we were going through like flashcards one time. It was like maybe like a month after he started daycare. And he's like, I pull out like one that's an octagon. And he goes, octagon? I'm like, octagon? My son knows octagon. He's a fucking genius. He's like 2 years old. I'm like, call up Mensa, get him signed up and shit. But it's just like, and I'm like, oh, you probably learned that in daycare. You just instinctively know what octagon is a chick. I didn't tell him that.
Shout out to Miss Rachel. We do a lot of Miss Rachel. She's one of those things that's like hella weird when I watch it as an adult, but kids get it. You just fucking 35, 40-year-old lady singing in this baby voice and like, what the fuck? Millions of dollars Miss Rachel is worth. How
do you feel about Blippi? You guys watch that?
I know that guy's weird, bro. They changed him. There's a new Blippi.
Yeah, I know.
But he's a guy that like got caught. He was like back in the day, he had that video of him shitting on his friend.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's this kid entertainer.
This is a whole other world I had no idea about.
I didn't know about Blippi either until the
shit.
pandemic and shit. And then it came up in the fucking, YouTube algorithm. And it's a guy that wears like fucking orange and blue and suspenders and shit, all stuff, and does like
shits on his friends.
little kid voice, and I talk like this, and he does like he just goes around. Yeah.
But the funny thing is, he looks like a weird character from like a Black Mirror episode or something. Yeah, like this guy murders.
And he always like spells out his name
Joker, but for kids, kind of.
Yeah, basically, but like he's probably little dead kid.
Like a new
Blippi with an I at the end too. Like, come on, I don't.
He spells out. He's like BLIPPI, and I'm like, and I didn't like the way he says PP. I'm like, oh, this fucking guy's
he knows he's doing like PPI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you show Blippi your PP. That's my name, like that type of shit. Like I right out of the gate.
He looks weird. Like if
you
look at Blippi, like, oh, this guy's a fucking weirdo.
He's like the new like Captain Kangaroo of fucking like.
But like,
but he got caught because like back in the day when they had like.
He tried to scrub the internet on that shit. I delved into that dude because I just like had a bad vibe. My kid kind of likes him, and then just like it became kind of a big thing. Dude makes fucking like tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, but they changed him, so now there's a new Blippi.
But he also sold off that character because he was doing. He did a Netflix show with that chick.
Yeah,
like there's like a mixed chick that he does like there's a whole bunch of weird.
I think our generation.
There's another lady too, because they have like a amalgamation of like Blippi, Miss Rachel, and that other light-skinned black lady where they're like, we're all meeting at the museum, and like they like sang songs and shit.
I will say this: one of the places that he went to, I was in Vegas with my son. We went to the place; and it was dope as fuck. And then, like, because my son saw it, he's like, "Oh, Blippi was here." I'm like, "Yes, he was here. We're here now." But then, even that place, I was still like, just looking around, and dude, I don't know if you do that as being a parent, but I'm fucking hella paranoid about like pedophiles. And
Yeah,
shit.
dude. Always. Everyone's trying to fuck your kid, bro.
For real.
No, seriously, bro.
Dude, when I was at
fucking
daycares,
kid,
bro, I legit like was looking at the fucking daycare instructor. I'm like, what's your
had a
interest in
guy.
kids? Yeah, of course it was a guy.
Okay, so
My red flags and radars are going off the second it's a dude, and I love kids, but like not enough to be fucking like in
yes,
that role.
and like so here's the thing, like it's you're so cognizant of it as a parent because we have all women there, and there was like one guy that was there, and it's her brother, and I was like, does he? And he goes, no, he lives here at the house, but he's never there. He just does the books, and then like I went to pick up my daughter, and it was like another guy there with his shoes off, and like they're like, oh, this is our family friend, like he's visiting with his wife, and I go, and then I made a big stink, bro.
Yeah.
I was like, I sent the lady email. I was like, hey, I think that if there's gonna be a man that we don't know, or anybody, but I was like specifically a man that
For
we
sure.
don't know that's gonna be around our children, you should let us know. And they go, well, people come and visit all the time. I go, no, I'm not
That's
talking about
even worse.
visitors. I'm not,
Exactly. Doesn't matter.
but I'm talking about potential
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
Like we have so many potential. I'm like, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you say, hey, this is our family friend who's going to be staying here, and I just walk into the house and it's this guy who I don't know, who I know is not a parent of any of the kids here. He's just here. Like you got to let us know. And they were like,
sure.
yeah, you're right. I'm like, yeah, it's fucking.
No, dude.
Because if someone's going to touch your kid, it's going to be a dude.
It's always that like that
It's always
random
gonna
like
be a dude.
who's a friend of the family, you
Yeah.
know, like just kind of like a drifter that kind of came in and out and just fucked up your kid's whole trajectory and shit. Yeah, dude.
That is fucking
It never
terrifying.
goes. Yeah, it never goes away.
Yeah.
It never goes away, bro. Like,
What about babysitters? Like that's the thing. Like
That's
I had like dope babysitters growing up. Like, well, I had a couple that were fucking definitely sketch that I'm like looking back, I'm like, you guys left me with this fucking person. Like we had this one lady, Karen, she would just come over, wouldn't say anything. She had like dyed black hair, like really like drab, and she'd sit at the
How old
kitchen
was she?
table. She was probably like I would think she probably was like 40 in her
How old were you?
40s. Like 7.
Okay, so when you were 7 years old, okay.
Yeah, so something like young, and then I had an older brother and younger brother, so like all ages. Older brother a year and a half older, younger brother 7 years younger, so all different ages. But she would just sit at the fucking kitchen table, smoke cigarettes, and eat potato chips, and that's all she fucking did. And my parents didn't smoke, so it was like not.
She
was not
smoked in your
cool.
house, bro?
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know
The
what's
80s
going
were
on.
wild,
Yeah,
man, yeah.
they were fucking crazy. And
That's
then
funny.
but we had like cool babysitter, like this
She's
cool,
cheap, but she
this
smokes.
cool dude who
Yeah.
lived down the street, and he was like all about Michael Jordan. Always had like a cool car and shit. And he was like the guy in the neighborhood would like show us like skateboards and shit. And then like
He babysat you?
Huh?
He babysat you?
Michael Jordan?
Yeah, Michael Jordan. No. The Michael Jordan.
No,
In the off season.
This guy that lived down the street, his family lived down there, and he was like, I don't know, he's probably like in his like teens or something. We were like kids, but he was just like he was like the cool kid in the neighborhood, and he was just like nice with everybody. And then also like he was the same age as these girls that lived next door to us, and they were like kind of like the cool high school girls, and they would babysit us too sometimes. So we had like some cool babysitter experiences, like some cool people and stuff. But there's definitely a few like fucking like weirdos where I'm like, oh, that was kind of sketch. Even my parents were talking about it once where they had like left us. My mom was talking to me. She's like, yeah, we left you at this like one lady that we met one day at
That's
your
hilarious.
school. And like, there was like a whole bunch of kids over there, and I don't know what was going on with that. That was fucked up though. Like we shouldn't have left you there. And I'm
regret it.
like, yeah.
That's
But like you guys got to think about that shit now. Like babysitters, is that like a thing?
Well, dude,
like,
my dad had
how
an
do you
affair
find
with a fucking
babysitters? Like,
babysitter.
what do you do?
What?
Yeah. My dad, like one of his contractors, like daughters was like a babysitter or something. My dad had like sleeping. We found out years later and shit. Like,
Arnold Schwarzenegger over there,
yeah,
bro.
for real. Yeah. Probably have another sibling out there.
Yeah. So we had a nanny, and she was my friend's cousin, and I was cool with her watching her. But most of the time Erica was there so it was the thing, like Erica was there working, doing whatever she needed to do while the babysitter was there. And it took a lot for us to leave her with Jamie, but it was comforting that she also had like a child that was similar age.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, well, this girl knows how to take care of a kid.
Yeah.
And then I have another friend who watches her now, and she's pretty she's pretty good with her. But like, yeah, most people that watch her has been like family, or grandma who's here. But now grandma's getting up there. Like grandma can't really keep up with her now that she's 2. It was easy when the baby was like 1, but now
how old is grandma?
73, 72,
Okay.
72.
She's still young though.
Yeah, but yeah.
I got like 8-year-olds watching my kid.
Yeah.
Like,
so
they keep him young.
Yeah, and so for us, it was just like it's hard to find someone because I don't know how these people like, find like strangers on like nanny list or like.
No, you hear about those stories. I was watching like an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, right? And they had like it was like a terrible fucking like nanny situation where like the kid like kept getting fucked up, right? Like had like trauma, like it was getting concussions and stuff. And then the parents started getting like question if they're beating the kid. And they put a nanny cam in, and it ended up being the nanny like pushed the kid down the stairs and shit. And like, I don't know what you're laughing about this, but it's like this is a 1980s fucking like Unsolved Mysteries. And
you can get away with that shit in the 80s.
True, well maybe, but still, the thing is that I'm surprised they had nanny cams.
Grabbing kids by the belt in the back of the shirt,
like,
throwing them downstairs. Like, I don't know. He's fucking. It was like that when I found him.
An Unsolved Mysteries that aired, on like national television and shit. And the dad's in the confessional. He's like, yeah, my fucking kid's like retarded. Sounds like he drops the arm where I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, the kid's retarded. I was like, oh, damn, like I can't really say that, but I mean, I just said, but it was just kind of crazy that like that was his biggest complaint about the lady like abusing his kid
because he got made him mentally retarded. Yeah. That was what they called it back in the 80s, bro.
Yeah, so direct quotes, period, correct.
Oh man,
yeah. It's always. I mean, even like I don't understand how these people have like people driving their kids around in cars and stuff like that, bro. Like,
dude, you see the kids that fucking travel in the airport by themselves like that, like. The thought of like your kid, like 7-year-old, Kevin McAllister scenario, like just flying across country. Like
my brother did. I think he was. So I was 18. He was 11. Yeah, and I think my sister did it when she was 8. Yeah, but it was a direct flight. Yeah, so it was like gate to gate. So she was just on an airplane.
That's like if you're that young, like the flight attendant, whatever. Like they
treat you like a
you have like a pin or something that says like I'm alone, I'm a child.
I'm scared.
Yeah. So out of your kid, I know it's young. It's only 2 years old, and she is only 2 years old, and your son is 4 years old. So, and you guys both being comedians, do you see any like traits of like, oh, this could be going that way?
Well, not yet, man. My daughter definitely is aware of attention and like being aware of like what she can do to get things done. She really likes to like sing and stuff like that. But,
okay.
I mean, if she's gonna be my kid, I think naturally she's gonna have that because that's exactly how I was when I was a kid. Like I was
how did you get into it? Because you're the oldest. Usually it's like the middle or like the last kid that's like ends up being the comic, not the oldest.
Yeah, I never
of the bunch.
really wanted to be a comedian, but I was always an actor. So like, it was an easier transition for me. I feel like when I started 12 years ago, because I was just like, oh, this acting shit is stupid, bro. I'm tired. I need to change. So
how long were you acting before you got into stand-up?
I had lived in LA for like 7 years. Okay. And then like for my birthday, I took like a comedy class because my mom was like, oh yeah, you can, if you want to do comedy, you can see if there's a class. I'm like, they're not teaching people how to do comedy. Yeah. And I Googled comedy class. It was like 1,000. So,
that's hilarious.
So yeah, I did that. I went that route, but I mean, I'm glad I did it. It kept me out here because if I was just acting still trying to, that was the most frustrating times of my life, dude, man. The most frustrating times of my life, just like not getting anywhere, not doing anything, and signing up for classes and like trying to do these new methods. I think I went to like an Australian method of acting and like these weirdo shits, man. And
that's weirdo shit.
I mean, thing about comedy is like, especially when I started, it was just like there was this like whole group of like good places to do it, like where like people that were like trying to make it and trying to do it. Like Marty's was a good place right down here down the street. There was
that's funny. Marty's, dude.
West Side Bruco was a good spot.
Oh my god, I forgot about that place.
Yeah, Wednesdays and Thursdays were like
there was Brew House that was over there too.
Yeah, Brew House was over there. Like you just cut your teeth and like get in the mix. But yeah, man, that's how I started. And
where'd you take the class at?
It was at he rented someplace, but we got our graduation show at the Improv.
Okay.
And that's the only reason why I picked it, because that was like, I get to perform at the Improv.
Yeah.
And I had no interest in comedy, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't go to any comedy clubs. I'd never been to the Comedy Store. I'd never been to the Improv. I'd never been to fucking the Laugh Factory. I'd never been to any comedy. I had no desire to I wasn't like, oh, I'm a fan of comedy. I didn't really like.
You didn't have like a favorite comic or anything before then?
Not really, bro. I mean, I knew Eddie Murphy, Delirious was funny, and fucking Martin Lawrence and Chris Rock. I mean, I would get excited about like when they had specials, like, oh yeah, because I mean that was a big thing. Like, oh yeah, fucking at 11:30 on a Saturday, man.
Yeah, dude,
Bigger and Blacker.
Chris Rock's like Bigger and Blacker. Like that album came out like what, late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, 97, 96, 97. Yeah,
and I don't know, that was on like all summer. That whole fucking summer that was on forever and shit. But even before that, there's like the Carlin and all that stuff. HBO always had like, that's kind of what got me into it. Yeah. But
and like I never really thought like I want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I found Patrice O'Neal like in 2011, like right before and I was like, oh, this guy is fucking good. Man.
Yeah.
Like he's just says what fuck he wants to say, and then he died.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. Like
his replacement's right here.
Yeah, I know, exactly.
Sign up for this comedy class.
And so yeah, man, that was just it. I mean, I'm glad I did. I moved here to act, but comedy definitely kept me here.
Yeah.
And it has definitely opened a lot more doors than would have opened.
But you still act though, right?
I still act. Yeah. I still act. I still go out on auditions.
Were you acting the entire time after you got into stand-up, or did you take a couple years off and then?
No, I was still in the mix, bro. But like, comedy helped me get like new agents and shit. It was like, oh yeah, well this comic has this, and they recommended you for this, and like I got a manager because of comedy, and so this is all things that are like, oh yeah, well we're looking for it because it's that boom. We're like, we're looking for funny people, or we're looking for a comedy background, and like every audition you go to is like, stand up or fucking improv or whatever, blah 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 blah. But yeah, man, like it never stopped me from doing acting. It still doesn't stop me from doing acting. I mean, I go on auditions and all the time. And you watch your TV, you'll see all fucking comics doing fucking
for sure.
Willie Mack and Martin.
Well, Bill Burr I just saw a Netflix thing like Old Dads. It's called. Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out. And I was like
old Billy Burr.
Yeah, Bill Burr. He's fucking so solid. He's such a
solid dude, solid human being, solid comic. Yeah,
just funny. Like just tells fucking great perspectives on shit.
Still a comic, bro. Like still a comic. Like because it was one of the funniest things where. Because I have this show at the Improv that I do and I host, and Bill Burr did it. He's done it a couple times. And
cool.
My buddy was in town, and he's like, what the fuck? We're in the green room with fucking Bill Burr, man.
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
It's like, he's like, what the fuck is Bill Burr here, right?
Yeah.
So then Bill Burr's just talking. He's talking. He's talking about going to the Clippers game, like doing all this thing. And like, he's just doing bits, right?
Yeah.
And then my buddy goes, what the fuck? I go, yeah, man, he's a comic.
Yeah.
Comics do, he goes, I go, yes, comics do bit. I go, he was just doing a bit about the music at the Clippers game. It was too loud or whatever. I go, that's a bit.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, he's working this out because this is what he does. This is what he's been doing for fucking 35 years.
Or he's like so dialed in, like just his conversation is
that's
bits.
what he is.
Like he is a bit, like all the time. Like
he's doing a bit. He's like trying to figure some shit out.
It's fucking
no matter how famous you get, that's what comics do.
Yeah.
That's like that whole thing with being comic. So that's always nice when you find that, you meet a guy like that and he's like, he's a comic. He's still a comic. You know what I mean? So
yeah, man.
Off in the corner, all distant and weird and shit.
Yeah, just weird coming in, fucking not talking to nobody. And
I'm sure there's people like that in the comedy
like
world.
Oh, yes.
There's a whole bunch of them.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
There's spots at 8:15 and then they do 15 minutes. So they come in at 8:14, they get on stage for 15 minutes and they leave at 8:31. Like that is like, and you don't see them again for the rest of the night. They don't hang, they don't do nothing.
In and out.
Yeah. I always like to hang. I mean, now having a kid, now you can't really hang as much, but I still do get the hang because Erica gets it because I was a comic before I met everything. I still have to do that. It's a part of it, but I think that camaraderie that I built with comedians like initially on when you had like with your class of comics, it was like, oh yeah, we're hanging out after mics, talking shit, at Denny's till 4:00 in the morning, and like you can't really learn that or teach that or get that anywhere else.
We're not getting the full experience unless you're doing that. And unfortunately, because even closing bars down or whatever you're doing, like that is part of what kind of like
the hang.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's a big component of it. And like I feel like a lot of comics still do the hang too much. And I remember one time, hanging at the Comedy Store and Ian Edwards was saying like, yeah, man, like y'all just hanging out, spending all your money, like go home and write. Like you don't have to come here every night. You know what I mean? Like, you just go write. Like don't be here every night. So I think sometimes you have to find that balance between it because like you said, you can go to the Comedy Store and you want to, you're drinking and you're paying $12.50 for PBR.
Right.
Shit, that's with a discount.
yeah, exactly, man. So it's I tell people there's too many comedians already.
Well, the thing is though, and you know this with the comedy world, if you're not being seen in the scene, are you in the scene? You know what I'm saying? Like that's like
people have to know you.
Yeah, it's a weird balancing.
One thing that I learned, man, pretty quickly is that human nature is by association, right? Yeah. So if someone knows you from one thing, and then they can know you from two things, then they'll get to know you a lot better. So like I got ingratiated into like the scene a lot because I would play basketball on Saturday with comics. So there was like a comics game and I would go there and meet all these comics that I would never have interacted with any other aspect of like, oh yeah, well now I know this guy because I play basketball with him. Yeah, so it made it a lot easier to build that rapport with comics.
It's like networking.
Yeah. It really is that.
Like in the most natural way.
Yeah, that's not even like it's not even like in the business, but outside of it, doing like an activity that
you know with golf, but like I don't play basketball.
Golf, tennis, now pickleball. People love that fucking stupid sport.
I never know what the fuck that is. Like I've heard of it as
never
well,
played it.
But like it's
like
a fad
it's
thing.
like it's like grown up.
It's like tennis for drunks.
No, it's more like ping pong.
Ping pong.
Hilarious.
So it's like a larger scale version of ping pong.
Huh.
So you're playing with a wiffle ball, and it's loud in a paddle, and it's loud as fuck.
Interesting.
It's like pop, 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 pop.
I don't know if my niece can take that anymore.
No, no. It's for people that like like older people are into it.
Oh,
like
it's dominate pickleball.
It's the number one growing fucking sport for people over 50. So like my friend retired and he plays 4 hours a day.
Oh,
he's 58 years old. He plays 4 hours a day and he's been playing for like a little over a year, and that's what he does every day. He plays pickleball.
That is fun.
And like it's intense, and like these people they get into it, and like it's one of the fastest growing sports right now. But I guess it is a sport, but like
we're having a good old bowling, just going. That's a Midwest thing.
Yeah,
go to the bowling.
I'm not good. I'm not good at bowling.
No one's good at bowling. No, it's like golf. Like no one's good at golf.
Mark's really good at bowling.
What's your like high score?
I feel like a 180 last time I fucking bowled. Yeah,
that's big.
Yeah.
If I crack 130, bro, I'm living.
Usually
life.
like 120. It was a good, but it was just.
There was this thing. It was like, if you're a man, you need to bowl over 100.
I agree with you.
Shit, I never thought of that, but now every time I bowl in the future, I'm gonna be like, fuck.
Yeah, you need to be triple digits for
sure.
If
you're a man, you need to be over 100.
Mark, what's your fucking high score? 283.
Wow.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah,
that's like some crazy fucking shit.
Why we don't go bowling with Mark?
Yeah,
that's almost a perfect game. 283. God damn. Oh, Pete Weber out there, man.
Yeah, dude. That's so you've been out here for how long now?
I moved here in 2005. So yeah, a little over 18 years.
And you ever think of going back home?
No, never thought about going back to Detroit.
Because sometimes people are like, oh, I'm thinking about going back. And I'm like, how could you go from especially the Midwest and the seasons and the harshness of winter, and then even think about moving back to that shit?
No, man, I love Detroit, man. It's my hometown, bro. And like, I love visiting Detroit. I love being there for like moments, but like I could not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot nicer now than it was when I was there, but like.
That's the shit though. That's because like we had the same kind of rub with Wisconsin where like Milwaukee was fucking shit. And then I got gentrified and stuff. And it's just like when I used to take my expat there, I'm like, this place is scary. When I used to live here, now it's all fucking like just like gastro pubs and like all
Trader
the fucking
Joe's
houses,
all the old breweries
Bike
that are like
lanes.
dilapidated became like these high end brownstone
schools that become movie theaters and shit.
Yeah.
It's interesting, man. I mean, I've been back home. I was just home like last month, and I took my family back, and we got to hang out with my dad and my brother's kids and my sister kids, and like it was just, we had a good time. But like I can't do winters anymore, bro.
No.
Like I can't deal with snow.
Yeah.
And fucking warming my car up.
Yeah.
And like, getting stuck and like just like I'll sit in traffic to not have to fucking do that fucking warming your car up shit, bro.
The key not being able to turn in the lock.
Yeah,
old
just
school.
break your key in your thing and like, man, it's just you know, you get in a cold car and you know your car still doesn't warm up while you're fucking. Yeah, I mean now it's a lot easier because cars warm up sooner, but bro, man, like fuck that cold shit, bro.
What's the other thing too, man? Did you look at like, you know, our parents raising like a pack of kids? Because both of you guys had like, you know, 3 kid families and shit. But like, imagine doing what we're doing as parents in that temperature. Like, no, fuck that, dude. It's such an aggressive way to live. It's like a weighted bat scenario every day for no reason, where you just move here and there's no longer shoveling snow. There's no longer your car fishtailing when you got fucking like 4 kids in the back seat.
What do you do when you swerve? Do you go, what the swerve? Go with the swerve.
Dude, no.
It's like double the clothes too. Like you need like all your winter clothes and then your summer clothes.
You have extra tires. You have winter tires.
Yeah, like everything is just double pain in the ass. It's just fucking crazy.
I
can't do it. I love the seasons though. The seasons are beautiful. Like you said, it's good to visit like during those seasonal changes. I love Michigan in the fall,
bro.
Michigan in the fall. Getting back into the fall lately. I didn't like it when I was a kid because it always reminded me of school. You know what I mean? Like the smell of burnt leaves. I'm like, it's happening again. School. But like I was back last year for like my cousin's wedding, and I was like, just hearing like the sound of like leaves scraping down the street. It's a weird trip, man. It's right back down to being a kid.
Yeah, raking leaves and jumping in them.
Yeah.
I mean, I have fun, but like that fucking hawk, man, that cold shit, bro. Fuck that shit, bro. Yeah. For real.
Yeah.
No fun.
It was a negative 40 in like the April that he and I moved back out here in like 2007.
Oh, wow.
In fucking April, dude. Like negative 40 with like the wind chill factor. And like we were doing construction. So I'm like, what the fuck are we doing, man? It's a deep freezer. This is like ridiculously cold. Like no one should live here.
Yeah.
It was like one of those winter weather advisories when they're like, don't go outside without sunglasses on. Your eyeballs will freeze.
Oh,
shit. It's like, wow, dude.
That's insane, bro.
Like, you know, you shouldn't live there when you're like, all right, where are you going? I'm going to the grocery store. Or did you pack your extra clothes and your road flare and your fucking food and like,
and your hand warmers?
Yeah, what are we doing? Like, why don't we just move to a warmer place?
So I moved here in 07?
Initially, I moved out here in 03. I was out here till 05, and I moved back for about a year and some change.
Okay.
Convinced Eric to come back out with me.
Yeah, I was supposed to move out here with friends, and then that never panned out. Like, they just kind of like flake and dissipated from me. And like,
well, that's what happened. I moved out here with like my older brother, my older sister. And then one by one, they're like, my sister like got engaged, moved back to Chicago with the guy she got engaged with. My brother was like, I can't take this. And like had a mental breakdown. I was like, all right, I guess we're out of here.
Did you move here to act?
Dude, I moved here just to be a carpenter. And I got into acting.
Oh, okay.
That eventually got into stand up and stuff. But unlike you, the second I like got into stand up, I was like, and same thing. That I was like, you see far more results just by you beating the pavement than you do with like acting. Fuck acting. I just stopped doing that. And then you see your friends that do both, and you're like, okay, I should have done both because it's an easier way to level up. And now I'm like, all right, trying to bring that back, during a writer's strike and post pandemic with a kid and shit. But I think there's another thing too. I also feel like when I moved out here, like once I got into acting, I didn't take any like drama classes or anything. So like I was just a regular ass blue collar dude who was like, I want to act out. It's like I couldn't pull emotion to really kind of like get into the character and stuff. Like I look back at like just reading sides of the Eric. I'm like, dude, I must have just fucking bombed at all that shit. Like just taking a shit in an audition room all the time.
Yeah, that shit was like, so I would get anxiety when you'd be like, bring home like shit and be like, oh, dude, I gotta memorize all this. You gotta memorize all this shit. I was like a horrible student.
Were you an actor ever?
No, never nothing.
He's a singer though. He's a musician.
Yeah. So, but as far as like memorizing like all the lines and shit, I'm like, dude, you have to go in front of like a person and a room and like remember all this shit for like verbatim. I'm like, that's fucking insane. Like that, I don't understand how actors do that because that's like basically school for me. Like learn this in the book, memorize it, and then you take the test. And it's like the same thing as that.
Because it's like that football player mentality where like, football players can't really do schoolwork, but then like they'll remember like a play. It was like Z right, Z
not
double
me.
nick,
I didn't know.
I
was not
back
that.
screen. Did you play football?
Yeah, I played football, I wrestled, basketball, I played like all the sports, but I was fucking dumb as shit. I'd be like on the line. I was a lineman too, and I'd be on the line, be like, hey man, what the fuck am I supposed to do with this play? It's like run that way, fucking hit that guy. I'm like, all right, hit that guy, idiot. On 3, here we go. 1, 2. It's just like,
well, like it's just push forward for a fucking lineman, man.
Well, we ran like a toss offense, so the lineman would run a lot.
Oh, so you guys were pulling?
Yeah, so it was like going this way.
You guard or tackle.
I was guard.
Okay, yeah.
And then I
guard,
played
yeah.
defensive end too for a little bit.
All right.
But
I have no idea what the fuck you guys are talking about, but
yeah, just
I like how you're
I don't
like,
either.
pulling. All right,
I played that
Toss
shit
offense,
from
okay,
like
check
fourth
that.
grade until senior year in high school, and
I remember
just
like
never. I just played it because kind of like this. While you guys like comedy, like you hanging out with your buddies and you get to shoot the shit. That's why I played any sport ever in my life. Just fucking the shooting the shit and hanging out on the side or during practice and whatever, all that stuff. That's what. Because all my friends were doing it. So it's like, well, what am I going to do? Just go home? Like, I'll just hang out with you guys and fucking talk shit.
Yeah. Did you guys go to like a smaller high school?
It was like a medium size.
There was three main high schools in our city.
So you guys are suburb of Milwaukee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, how many people are in, like...
Probably like 1 million in our class. Yeah. There's probably about 2,000 in our school.
Okay. So you guys had like what in your graduating class?
400 or 500?
Okay.
Yeah.
We had about the same.
Something like that. Yeah.
But we had more. We had like 3,000 in my school, I think. I can't, my friend went to like one of these mega high schools in Texas with like 5,000 kids.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I don't know. Is that, were you more than?
I don't know. I've
I don't
literally
know. It could
have
have been
no
50
fucking
kids.
idea.
I don't know at this point.
Yeah.
But I'd say we were probably in the 200s for our class.
Did y'all go to any of your reunions?
No.
Fuck no.
No.
No. I saw some pictures of that shit though. And I'm like,
back down, like downtown or our hometown, like you'll just run into people and stuff on the Facebook too. And then like,
so people just stay there.
That year that I moved back to Wisconsin, I ended up getting a job with another buddy's, the buddy that I went to high school with.
Okay.
His uncle's painting company and shit. And then I latched into with a bunch of like dudes I went to school with. And I think I was like 22, 23-ish and shit.
Okay.
But these dudes look like they're straight up like in their fucking like 30s and stuff. Like they'd already like just kind of settled into Midwest.
When I went
living,
to my high school reunion and I brought Erica back and I was just like, yeah, like I wasn't really that popular in high school. I mean, I was like a middle guy because I played sports and then I was in theater. So, but I never had any like friends from my high school.
what sports did you play?
I was baseball, basketball, and then I did theater. And then so when I went back to my reunion, I told Erica, I was like, yeah, I didn't really know these people. I don't really have any friends from my high school still. But when I walked in there and was like, what's up, Mateen? What's up? Hey, what's up, man? I go, these people did not talk to me in high school. Like they literally did not talk to me in high school.
Yeah.
But now, they see me, they see me on Facebook and Instagram and like they see I'm doing shit. So they think that like, oh my God, this guy's like.
Well, and there's like, they're adults now compared to kids.
Yeah,
so now they're like, oh, they're mature now. And you probably have a more of a,
one of these
meaningful.
guys I really fucking hated in high school. Come on, what's up, man? I got this. I was like, I don't fucking, don't fucking talk to, like, come on, bro, get out of my face. Man.
Yeah.
Like, but I mean, I went because I was like, oh yeah, I went, and then they want to do a cruise next year, and I'm like, nah, I don't really fuck with cruises, but
yeah,
but yeah, man, I went to one, and that was it.
I think like social media is some of the reasons why, like, I think I was less like wanting to go, like just because you see everybody on Facebook or like
before, you didn't see people.
Yeah, like when my parents went to their reunion, they're like, "Holy shit, I haven't seen you in fucking 30 years! Like, this is crazy."
Yeah.
Like that would be cool to like go back and be like, "Holy shit!"
25th I might go to. I mean, but
you just see everybody like every day though, like like.
I know, but
you're the only friend really
that I actually
like
just
have from high school, really. But like,
I know, but like, well, I'm a fucking chatty dude. I've always.
You go.
But I wouldn't mind like having that like, a beer with someone I've had like a 4-year experience with 25 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've hung out with people that I went to high school with. I mean, one of my good friends, we went to high school together, but even in high school, we weren't like that cool. Like we were friends, but we didn't like hang out a lot. And like we didn't become really good friends until, because we even went to the same college for a year, but then he left. And then even when he left, it wasn't like, yo, bro, I'm leaving. It's like he left and I was like, oh, I'll never see him again. I mean, what I'm saying? That was the thing. We're like, I don't know if he was alive. Like, I don't know I didn't have a cell phone number for him because I didn't have a fucking cell phone. So I don't know where the fuck. And then like senior year of college, he like, I had a call. Yeah. And I was like, who's like, Tim? He goes, yeah, man, I'm in Tallahassee right now. And I go, you in Tallahassee? He goes, yeah, man, me and my brother. We doing like a Southeast tour. We just came through and I got your number from your dad because he still had my home phone number in his fucking phone book. And so, so we ended up hanging out and then I was working at a summer camp. I'm like, yeah, man, you want to come work at a summer camp with me this summer? And then we became friends that way.
No shit.
And that was it. And now he's one of my best friends. But
how old were you guys at the time?
We're like 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have
funny.
people that like know that you live out here now, and then people that you weren't really that close to, like because they know you live out here, they're like, "Hey, what's up? Like, you want to hang
I mean,
out?"
there's some associates. So like when I went back home just right now, like a lot of my like people I went to high school with, they came to my show or whatever. But these weren't people that I was like super close with. But these are
Right.
people like I knew.
Right.
And I also was like, I appreciate that you guys are here. 'Cause you're not fucking buying tickets or whatever.
Right.
I mean, and you know, I mean, I get, you know, I get in my head about stuff and like doing things like, oh, I'm not doing enough. But I mean, if you you know, you live somewhere else and that's not here, and you see someone that you know
Right.
on television, that's, you know, that's still big for people. Like that's exciting. That's still exciting. So like I think that whole thing added to that thing where like people were excited to see me because like, oh yeah, they see you doing this and
For
like
sure,
they see
dude.
you doing this.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because my cousin, you know, he was just like, yeah, man, I see you out there. You know, you was with Tiffany Haddish, man, and you out here with this nice watch and these glasses, man. Like you in Illuminati now, aren't you? I was like, no, man, I'm not.
Not yet.
I'm not in
Yeah.
Illuminati, bro. Not yet. And if I was, I wouldn't tell you, bro. Like, he's like, yeah. He was like, what was it? It was like, you got this nice watch and these glasses, your fingernails painted, and you got these tight ass pants. So that was the thing. My tight ass pants. And like, there was this one girl. It was so funny. I hadn't seen her. Like she had come out. We went to middle school together, and she had come out to LA. And like this back in the day when like people would come to LA and you know, they always looking for weed and like, but this before weed was legal. So you're like, oh yeah, and I had a card. So I was like, yeah, I'll get you some weed. You know, I was like, cool thing. So I'll get her weed and stuff. And but we, you know, we don't really talk, but she came to my show and she came and wanted to take a picture. She goes, hey man, why you come to Detroit with them tight ass pants on? I was like, what the fuck? And then she posted a picture of me like, oh, seeing my friend from middle school. And the first comment was like, nah, pants too tight. And I was like,
that's
why
hilarious.
is everybody fucking worried about my fucking pants?
Those West Coast tight pants on and shit.
Like, what the fuck? So
that's funny.
But yeah, man, I mean, and even from college, there's not a lot of people that I interact with. I mean, I was in a fraternity in college. I'm technically, once you're in my fraternity, you're always in it. But like my line brothers, like my chapter brothers, I still talk to them. You know, there's another thing where it's like,
wait, what fraternity are you in?
Alpha Phi Alpha.
Okay,
so it's the first intercollegiate black fraternity in the world.
In the world.
1906, Cornell University.
That's cool.
Ithaca, New York. That's where it started. But yeah, so like even now, one of my closest friends, he's my line brother, but in college we didn't fucking like hang out or anything. Like we knew each other. We were on the same line. We had that camaraderie, but we weren't going out hanging out together.
Yeah.
But it was a thing where like he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be in LA. So we hung out in LA, and then like, you know, and then like as you start to get to know people and as you become men, you know, you start to understand like, oh, we have some of the same things in common.
Yeah.
And it's not even that like, oh yeah, you know, thing that you had in college. But like now a lot of people are like surprised, like, you and Hasim hang out? Like, yeah, man, we go on fucking vacations and Vegas and hang out and shit, man. We do fucking fun shit. So like he's coming out here for the Bears game. Okay. Because the Chargers play the Bears. But yeah, then I'll be in Houston. So yeah, man, that's the thing where like all these relationships that you have that you wouldn't have had prior because, you know, your experiences are different. You're older, you're more mature in certain things. So
do you find it hard to relate to people when you go back home about like you having so many different experiences than what most people don't have living back from?
I mean, for me, like we were talking, like you had mentioned with those guys that you said, like, especially going to my high school reunion, like I felt so much younger than them for some reason. Yeah. And I hadn't had a kid at this point. So like I feel like when you have kids older or later in life, you don't age as fast as you have them younger. Because like if you see people that I went to high school with, like there's like full gray beards, full gray hair, and stuff like that. And they're like, "You dye your beard in Hollywood?" I was like, "No, I don't.
Dude, I get the Hollywood shit too all the time.
I don't dye my beard. I don't have any hair. I lost my hair. I don't dye my beard. You know, it's like, you know, I didn't have kids. Yeah, I didn't have kids. I didn't have any main stresses in my life, and I didn't do a lot of drugs when I was in my 20s, and Nick DiPaolo, he's very controversial in some topics, but he started smoking when in his 50s, And everyone's like,
really?
you're 50, like, where are you smoking? He goes, now is the time for me to start smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, I haven't been smoking for the last fucking 40 years.
Yeah.
Now I could smoke for 40 years. And if it takes 40 years for it to catch up
For real.
and kill you,
Right.
now's the time to fucking start doing it. So,
Good point.
but yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that. But yeah, I think having kids later in life, doesn't age you as fast.
I mean, I've always looked like an old dude, so I don't really know. But I've always looked like an old dude, so I don't know how much that aged me. But I think you're right, though. I think my only complaint is like just because I fucking beat myself up a lot doing dumb shit younger, like my knees don't. I can't like. I wish I could have like played more with my
Were
kid.
you a skateboarder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I got hit by a car a couple times.
Oh wow.
Motorcycles, bikes. I got a bicycle when I was in high school. Motorcycle like 12 years ago, like right when I got into stand up, and then
Do you still ride a motorcycle?
no.
Okay.
No, dude, that was like my biggest fear is being in a wheelchair. And then I got hit by a fucking car. I was like, ooh, this is the easiest way to get in a wheelchair is getting hit by a fucking car. I'm like, fucking
On a motorcycle.
On a motorcycle.
Oh
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah.
Helmet,
full face, man. I still split my chin open and had to get it stable back together.
Yeah, I was listening to this podcast about Ben Roethlisberger, and I forgot he had
That's
a motorcycle.
right, man. Yeah.
Went through the fucking windshield.
He was also fucking just like solid steroid
Yeah,
muscle. And shit.
his head broke the.
Yeah.
If he didn't have, if he had a helmet, he would have been fine. But a fucking 9-inch scar or whatever. But you hear how fucking awful
that's the thing,
person he
though, 'cause
is. You don't feel bad for
Was that in
him.
Chicago?
No, that was in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only had a helmet on because it's a helmet law in California. Otherwise, I would not have one on because like there's
I don't
no
understand
helmet.
that.
Have you ever ridden without a helmet on?
No, I would never. Is it like condom sex and raw sex?
Exactly. It is
Okay.
exactly because you have like the sound of the air blowing through your fucking ears, the wind in your face, and they're just like.
But you can die. I guess you
But
can
you
die,
can die
with raw
anyways.
sex.
So it's like, why are you wearing like? It's like having like just the tip of your dick with a condom on. It's like the whole rest of the shit's exposed. You're fucked all the way. Like the only thing is like you can still get every STD. You can still, you know what I'm saying? Like you're
What's
just
weird, like
basically so
out here, you
vulnerable.
can split lanes on a motorcycle, but then back home, you can't split lanes like on a motorcycle. Like you can't go in between cars and
okay.
shit.
Yeah.
But
And
you
then-
have to have a helmet in Wisconsin now, right?
You don't have
No.
to have a helmet.
Okay.
But then I
Maybe
saw
not, I don't
something
know.
too. Like it was an interesting post. It was like, yeah, the reason why we split lanes out here is because they showed like a car rear-ending another car, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, like we're in the middle of that shit. Like we'd be in like sandwiched in and killed and shit. So that's why.
air cooled engines, and you can't sit in idle traffic with that. Right there, you go, Mark.
Well, it's
Producer
also,
agreed with me on that.
It's also maybe safer.
Well, that's also a good point, but
I mean,
like,
it's made
not
a
the
good
number one
point.
reason, but like
You can't. You can't sit in traffic with a motorcycle.
Yeah. And then cutting lane too, that's another weird thing where it becomes like the movie Tron, where you're kind of like, you just get into a flow of things, but everyone drives like assholes out here.
Yeah.
It's just like doors opening, people cutting, changing
But there's
lanes.
just too many people to have a motorcycle out here.
Yeah.
It's just way too many fucking people. Even
Yeah,
back
my
home.
friend was riding a Vespa.
It's still the same shit. You might as well ride an actual like bike because it's like you're putting yourself. You look at the fucking like the flows of traffic in LA. It's like
But
a
you can't
giant,
ride a Vespa on the freeway, right?
No.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I
it's
get-
fast enough.
I mean,
it has because it has to
But
go.
even driving a Vespa down Wilshire is fucking sketchy. There's potholes everywhere, big ass semis and shit. It is, dude. That is
I
the most
almost fell off a
sketchy.
scooter, bro. I rode a scooter.
Really?
Is that like a
Like
scooter?
like a Vespa?
yeah, like a
When you sit, there's
like
no
you
like.
went in Miami. Yeah,
Okay.
you like sit and like I've
Out
done
here?
that. No, in Miami.
Oh, okay.
Miami, we did it in Miami and we did it in Panama City.
Other places like that, I feel like tropical places, it's more like relaxed. But like,
Yeah, here's
Here's
But we
like
were riding through
crazy.
traffic with no fucking helmet and a scooter.
I don't know why I feel like you
get
can't
it.
get injured in a tropical area. It's like for hurricanes there, you can't die on a fucking like scooter.
But yeah, it's just so funny, man. It's I remember we didn't have fucking helmet. We were going to like 45, 50.
Yeah.
And like if you fuck up the front brakes and the like,
Yeah,
yeah,
man.
you can fuck yourself up like that.
Yeah.
I really don't know what the laws are for motorcycles out here because every week I see like the Rough Rider crew roll through and there's guys on 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, no license plates, no helmets, wheelies the whole time.
And they're
And
illegal.
Yeah. Those are all two strokes that are also illegal. Like none of that shit's legal. There's not street legal.
nobody ever gets a ticket ever. I've seen
So
that
what's-
for years
You have
out
the
here.
trikes, right? The trike.
Yeah.
Trikes, all that shit, everything. It's crazy.
Yeah, I think to ride the freeway, it has to go over 60 miles per hour.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be over a certain like CC engine, and then you need
CC,
like a,
that's it.
yeah.
Like 100 cc's. Whatever the fuck that means. I just know that from
cubic centimeters.
I just know that from Mario Kart.
Yeah, it's a big one, 150 cc's, baby.
Yeah,
So you can't learn anything from
Yeah.
video games. Look at
Yeah,
that.
fuck, look at me, man. Mario Kart, bro. CC's, bro. You get the fucking
Mario Kart.
fast boys.
That's funny.
Well,
Well, shit,
we are
man.
out of time at this point.
Oh, right on.
perfectly. Yeah. Anything on CC's? What's up?
No, I was gonna say, you want to do the outro intro?
No, you need the outro.
Yeah. All right. This is the time of the podcast. We let our guests tell us about what they got going on, where you can find you, what next shows you got going on, and all that kind of jazz.
When is this airing?
On Monday, next Monday. So
the 16th?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So what's up, guys? My name is Mateen Stewart. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, at Mateen Stewart on X. Is it Twitter or is it X? It's still Twitter.
It's Twitter.
I'm at Mateen Stewart everywhere. But yeah, Thursday the 19th, I am at the Ice House for the Unwoke show. And then I'm at the Laugh Factory. Friday, I'm doing 2 shows. On the 20th at Flappers with JL Covin. And then Sunday, check me out on the 22nd at Late for Work at the Hollywood Improv. Look forward to my new podcast called Scumbags of History coming out in November with Brittany Schmidt. Boom.
Thank you, Mateen.
Oh, thank you guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
And I'm at Tony Klein Comedian on all social medias and the app formerly known as Twitter or X. And Eric?
I am Eric Rustler. You can find me on Instagram under Eric Rustler. You can also find this podcast on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. The full episodes are launched every Monday, early in the morning. And then throughout the week, I'll do 60-second clips for all the platforms every single day. So make sure to check those out. And then also go to ericandtonyshow.com. Pick yourself up one of these beer mugs so you can watch the show and have a beer with us while we're, shooting the shit. And there's a couple other things for merchandise up there, but thank you for checking out the show, and we'll see you at the next one.
Boom, boom. Gang, gang.
Yeah.
Cool.
Boom.